Hello, everyone. I just wanted to take a moment to say a heartfelt thank you for all of your hard efforts and for reaching this far in the course. I know it hasn't been an easy journey since the start of the distance learning, but I am very proud of all of your efforts. And I appreciate everyone who has continued to participate in distance learning at home since the beginning. So, just in order of business before we begin, if you have any outstanding assignments, please turn them in to me as soon as possible. The sooner you get them in, the sooner I can mark them and contribute them towards your average. So if you have any paragraphs or perhaps the short answer quizzes from Mice and Men or even as far back as Macbeth, do your due diligence and get them into me as soon as you can, okay? And I'll be happy to mark whatever you're able to give. And then secondly, I know that you will be able to go into the school at some point beginning next week. So you've been asked to keep an eye out for any phone calls or emails from the school that will dictate the protocols for going in. So you may have to wear masks and gloves and social distance, and they'll probably only let so many in at a time. So just be prepared for that, okay? So this video, I felt it was necessary to do because it is your culminating task, which is worth 15% of your final grade. So I thought instead of just putting the instructions up, I would just walk you through it so you have a better understanding. So for this culminating task, I combined three things: narrative writing, creative writing, and just regular TV and film. Like, I thought it would be a neat idea to pretend you're a Hollywood director who's applying for the role to direct a major motion picture film, and you have to convince the board of the film industry that you're the most deserving of the job. So your skills are being sought after by a major film studio to create a new modern TV or movie adaptation to one of these three stories. So Macbeth, of Mice and Men, or any of the three short stories we've read as a class. So the lottery test where he's driving the car, or Leather Nothing Else, which is the barber, okay? The hair salonist. And your proposal must include four things. So a poster for the upcoming show or movie. So you can look up some examples online, or if you have maybe books that are based on films and they have the posters on the cover, that will give you some idea of what I'm talking about. And you're more than willing to draw it out yourselves on a piece of paper or do it in Photoshop or in PowerPoint. But if you decide to do it online, please save it as a PDF file so that way I'm able to view it more easily, okay? And then the second aspect is 2 to 3 well-written paragraphs describing who the movie or TV show is for. So who your key audience is. So for example, if you're doing a show about Star Wars, like let's just say you're basing your show off the elements of Star Wars, you're obviously catering towards a more mature audience. So I would say teenagers and adults, not necessarily saying that kids don't enjoy Star Wars, they do, but in order, if you're talking about more graphic themes, then it would be an older, mature audience. And demographically, you would say, oh, well, this is either for males or females, depending on who appreciates that element of sci-fi more. So that's completely up to you, and you have to demonstrate what changes, if any, you're planning to make from the original story. So if you choose Macbeth, so remember, obviously, we didn't get a chance to watch the film, but remember I said in the beginning of the year that in the Macbeth movie with Michael Fassbender, they had a scene at the beginning where they were burying their child, and there was never any mention of children in the play itself, except for Lady Macbeth saying she wasn't able to have any. So that's a drastic change from the play to the movie because they added in the element of miscarrying children, so that's why she turned out the way she did. It had nothing to do with any mental illness or outside influences. She was just purely uh, torn by grief from losing her child, and that's what caused her to turn mad. So you would have to explain any changes you make, whether they're small or large, and just give a brief explanation as to why you're doing it. Then the third part is a character sketch. Now, a character sketch is not a drawing of the character. What it is you're just basically breaking down the core elements of the main character, the protagonist. So, whoever the main character is, like again, if you're choosing Macbeth and you are talking about Macbeth, you have to give me his name, his age, how old are you making him? Is he in his 20s? Is he in his 30s? Is he a teenager? His background, where is he from? Well, Scotland. His job, if he has one, where he lives, what town he's from, any immediate family members, what hobbies he enjoys, his personality traits. Is he a kind man? Is he loyal, hardworking? Anything like that that would help us resonate and relate to the character. So our enjoyment of watching the film or TV show is heightened, so we'll appreciate it more. And then finally, a description of the show itself or the film. So you have to list 3 to 5 specific, film locations that you plan on using. So if you're trying to film the forest scenes in Macbeth, you would say like Hyde Park in Toronto, or maybe Casa Loma if you want to use a castle for Macbeth's home. Perhaps if you're doing of Mice and Men, you could use a house like the one that they used for It in downtown Oshawa. You could say something like that, and then you would have to explain why you chose those film locations for the TV or the film. You'd have to tell me why you think they're important. And everything combined is due on Monday, June 15th on or before 2:35. So I've done this so you have 2 full weeks to work and edit through your culminating task. I don't want you to feel rushed at all because I do understand you have 3 other courses worth of work. But we are on a tight schedule now that it's June. And your report cards will be handed out to you some point in July, either at the beginning or mid-July. So I have to have all the marks in before that. So again, I don't want you to rush through it, but the sooner you're able to get it to me, the better. So I would aim to have it done by June 15th. However, if you're really struggling and you need a few extra days, if you message me well before the 15th, like maybe 3-4 days in advance, and say, look, miss, I'm really sorry, but I'm trying to balance all the workload and I think I need a few extra days, that's totally fine with me. So if you come to me beforehand and I approve your extension, then you would hand it in to me no later than Friday, June 19th at 2:35, okay? And on the PDF for the file, I've broken down everything you need for each of the 4 aspects of your proposal. So for the poster, you would have to include a title and release date for the film or pilot episode of television, an image, so it could be the main character, it could be several characters, or it could be a location, that's totally up to you. A quote from the book, short story, or play that demonstrates something significant about the plot, either a conflict between 2 or more people, the character itself, or anything you think is interesting enough to grasp our attention as an audience. And then a slogan that's catchy or memorable, which will make the audience want to see the film or TV more. Like, for example, Game of Thrones saying winter is coming because they know that the Starks live in the north and the north remembers, right? And then it goes through instructions. Usually there's 1 or 4 bullets for each aspect that will help you understand exactly what I'm looking for. And at the bottom, I've also included a rubric for evaluation so you know exactly where I'm getting these marks from. So I've made it level 1 through 4, and everything is out of 20. So in total, it's 80 marks. So there's 20 for knowledge and understanding, 20 for thinking and inquiry, 20 for communication, and 20 for application. So you really have to take your time. And if you need me at any point, please message me. I am here for you. Otherwise, good luck, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.